Hey, this is Kirk Reynolds from KR Physical Fitness, and this is our general warm-up. We're gonna go ahead and start with arms up and down. The whole goal of the general warm-up is to start getting some motion in our joints. So if you're feeling kind of stiff or kind of crinkly, that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and get some better motion as we go ahead and do these reps. Typically, I'm looking for around about 10 reps. It doesn't have to be exact when it comes to this. We're just trying to get some nice, good, solid motion. If you notice that you're more stiff in one specific joint, spend a little bit more time on that one section. All right, from here, we're gonna go ahead and hug ourselves. As I hug myself, I want my arms to come back and forth. You'll notice that my left arm is going up top and then my right arm is going up top. I'm going one, and two, so on and so forth. Good, once we're done with that, we're gonna go ahead and do arm circles forward. So we're looking for small circles to begin with. We'll do about 10 reps, and then we're gonna go ahead and do small circles backwards. Nice job. All right, from here, let's go ahead and make bigger circles. Arm circles forward. Very good. And backwards. Good. From here, let's go ahead and do our necks. So we're gonna bring our right ear down to our right shoulder. And you'll notice that I kind of canter back and forth as I'm doing that. It's more of a counting for me. It just helps me to be able to keep my time. And usually I'm doing this between 8 and 10 seconds per side. Switch sides. And then I'm gonna do 2 times per ear. So once I'm done with this one, we'll do one more set, both left and right. Okay, switch. And switch. All right, now without moving your shoulders at all, we're gonna go ahead and look over our right shoulder. You notice that I'm not twisting my body as I do that. All I'm doing is pretending like my shoulders are stuck in place and I'm just trying to look over and gaze over. It's kind of like when you're in your car and you're trying to look over your shoulder to see if there's any oncoming traffic. Switch. We'll do this 2 times as well, per side. And switch. There's no magic number when it comes to any of these stretches or the amount of reps. 10 isn't the magic number, 10 seconds, 8 seconds, those aren't magic numbers either. The goal is just to be able to get some motion in that specific joint. So from here, we're gonna go do half head rolls. So we're gonna use our chin as our pivot point when we first start. We're gonna go from ear, bring your chin down, and then go to the other ear. That's 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3. If you hear a whole bunch of crackling on the microphone because of my beard, I apologize beforehand. Good. All right, typically I'd want to do about 10 reps, but for brevity's sake, let's go ahead and switch to the back of our head being our pivot point. So we're gonna go ear, back of head to ear, 2, 2, 3, 3. Good. All right, once we're done with those, we'll go ahead and put our hands on our hips, nice wide feet, and we're gonna do hip circles. Really, I'm starting to look at my pelvis. I'm starting to think about my femur and how my leg bone comes up and sits in my pelvis. And I wanna make sure that I get nice and good motion. This is a super important stretch for most of us because a lot of us sit during the day quite a bit. We're working on the computers, we're sitting down with our family members, we're sitting in the car as we drive. So that area of our pelvis and our hips, they tend to get really tight. So we'll get some motion. Now let's switch directions. Nice job. All right. As we're done with these, we're gonna go ahead and bring our feet together. I usually keep a little tiny bit of a gap in between my feet as I do this. I'm gonna bend my knees, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start doing knee and ankle circles. Now as I do this, I want you to notice that my feet are actually moving off the floor from side to side like this. I wanna make sure that I'm getting a nice good motion in those as well. And I'm going in a circle like this as I do it because I wanna make sure that I get some rotation in those ankles as well. And switch directions. Good. From here, we can go ahead and just do ankles. Ankle circles are an interesting thing to do because what you'll notice is when you start with one leg and you start going in one direction with your circles, that may feel pretty good. It may feel pretty smooth, but as soon as you switch directions, all of a sudden it may get really clunky really fast and you're going, what the heck is going on? Like, why is it so difficult for me to keep control in one direction more than the other? That just shows that you've got some imbalance, you've got some stuckedness in that joint. We need to be able to work that out. Oftentimes it does work out, you just have to practice more and more. Now it may be a neurological thing, it may be that your brain just doesn't do this very often and so it doesn't know how to do it. It's kind of like riding a bike. It's not that you don't have the strength to ride a bike or that you don't have the balance to be able to ride a bike, it's just that you don't know how because you've never done it before that first time. Switch directions, and so you just need to practice. As you practice, your brain and your body get better at working together, and then they start getting really smooth. Okay, from here, we're gonna go ahead and do a lunge forward. As I'm in this lunge, what I'm looking for is for my knee to be behind the tips of my toe. So I want it to be behind. I want my chest up nice and high as I'm here. So I'll show you what not to do. I don't want to see your chest falling forward. I don't want to see your knee coming forward like that. It puts a lot of pressure in your knee. You'll also notice that your heel, if you lean too far forward, your front heel starts to come up off the ground. And we don't want that. We want it to be nice and solid. Okay? So from here, our lunge, we're going to go into the pigeon pose, or what I call the glute stretch. That glute stretch is going to be stretching the front leg, the glute of the front leg. So what I'm doing is I'm laying my back foot nice and flat and straight, and then I'm trying to bring this front leg into as best of a 90-degree angle as I possibly can, and then I'm going to try to lay flat down over the top of that. Now, I know that some of you won't be able to do this. You won't be able to get that kind of stretchiness out of your body at first, and that's okay. You want to work with what you have. There's a phrase that I heard, do your best and forget the rest. I think that's a pretty good thing when it comes to stretching. So if, say this is too hard to be able to get your leg all the way like this, you can go ahead and bring your heel down closer to your groin, and that'll give you a little more range of motion. And say this is far down as your chest, we'll let you go because you're so tight in that front leg. That's okay. Just go ahead and stay right there. But if you can work your way all the way down, then go ahead and do that. All right, from here, we're going to go ahead and switch legs. We're going to be lunging with the other side. Just like this. Once again, you'll notice that that knee is behind the front of my toes. Trying to keep my pelvis nice and straight, parallel with the wall itself. So I'm not twisting as I'm doing this. I'm also not leaning forward. I keep my chest up nice and high. All right, from here, we'll go ahead and do our glute stretch. Trying to keep that leg as close to 90 as we possibly can, and laying down on it. And once again, if that doesn't work, then you can go ahead and move your foot closer to your groin, your heel especially. And if you're just way too tight, then go ahead and use your hands in front of you to be able to post yourself up a little bit. The goal is to, as we do this day after day, to just work a little bit deeper. So say you're stuck right here for the first couple weeks, but now you can actually start to bend your elbows just a little bit. And then after that, for doing that for a couple of weeks, maybe you can come down to your forearms. And then from there, maybe you can come all the way down, lay down and put your nose to the ground. Do your best, forget the rest. Good job with the warm-up.